everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. We are getting very, very close to the start of this catalog. The mini catalog and the new online exclusive start September 3rd. So make sure you are on my email list because I will have some extra added thank you gifts. There's thank you gifts every month, but I'll have a couple of other levels on there for you if you purchase during my kickoff time, which for me will be the 3rd to the 5th. So make sure you check those out. Then I have a couple of events. I have a whole video that I just recorded before this that just shows what I'm doing in September. So for a little bit more detail, go see that. But I have been talking for weeks now, several weeks, about my Try It class. Go watch this one. It is the first project in that Try It class. And then you can watch this one where I show you the PDF and what my goal is for you when you have the PDF from the class. But the registration is finally coming to a close. So you have till the last day of August to sign up for it. If you go watch that video I just talked about, then you can see here's the 7 other cards. That was the first. So there's fun folds. We use all the paper. They're all ready to go, ready for me to figure out how much stuff I need. If you are a member of my team, so if you'd like to join my team, you get a free packet. You get your first 3 packets completely free. After that, all you have to do is show up on our Zoom night when we Zoom together, and I send you the packet for free. There's always other ways that you can earn it too. I have a free class coming up. Watch this video and you can see how you can create 5 cards along with me. It's online if you purchase the Traditions of Christmas Suite. And then today's card goes along with my card club. So this video here talks all about September card club. September card club. So go watch that. The stamp set that we are using for the autumn toile paper is, no, I can't remember the name. Autumn Trees. So you can go watch this and learn about it. Then you can add on Amber Autumn, which this is not the bonus project, but there will be a bonus project for those in the class that add on Amber Autumn. But everybody in Card Club gets to see the videos. And then in October, the bonus set will be branching out, the bonus bundle. But I'm letting my girls that are in Card Club this month go ahead and get it if they want to, so they can have it and start working with it before. In October, you're going to use the Evergreen Snowflake paper. Evergreen Pine Snow. It's something called like that. It's beautiful paper. It's the one I just showed you with the Nativity. So you can go watch, or you can learn more about October Card Club as we get a little bit closer. But because I'm offering this to my September girls, if they want it, all of the bundles, when you add them on at Club, are almost 20% off because I pay your shipping and handling and tax. So this particular set, what really drew me to it were the dies. So you get the graduated dies, and I'm using 2 of them on this card. You can see them here. And then you also get 4 or 5. You get the pine cone, the little holly berries, the pine boughs, and then a long one. There may be one other as well, but you get a bunch of the frames. That's what I'm going to use on today's card. But then you can see here's one of the pieces here. The frames are everywhere because they're on all kinds of projects coming up. There's one, yeah, maybe that's the little bow I used. I can't remember. But it's not even a Christmas set. There is nothing in it that is for Christmas. And I think because it's got the pines and because it's in the Christmas catalog, everybody's like, oh, it's a Christmas set. It is not. You can get the dies, the branching out dies, stand alone. They don't cut out anything on this. They're just the frames and the little pieces of greenery. But we have Happiest Birthday Wishes, Thinking of You brings joy to my heart, Sent with Lots of Love. I'm using the Wishing You a Day Filled with Many Happy Moments on today's card. And then it's a 2-step, so you can make twigs that have berries. You can, there is snow, and I'm going to make my card today snowy. It feels like it could snow here. Our summer just like poofed out of it was in the 90s, and then it was not. And today it's definitely not in the 90s. I have on slippers and socks. But I am going to put some snow on today's card. So let's go ahead and do all of our die cutting first. I work so hard to make those Try It class cards, and then I just toss them aside and throw stuff on top of them. I should be a little bit more careful. So I'm going to cut out of some crumb cake, one pine cone and 1 of the pine boughs. Get this stuff all ready over here, and then I'll show you the other stuff. This is to emboss on. And in pecan pie, I'm doing the larger of the 2 frames that I'm using, and then in crumb cake, the smaller. So let me cut these out. Okay, so I've put the things through with the die cuts, and then I have a piece of 4 and 5 by 5 1/4 cardstock. This is the wreath that comes with the traditions. I can't talk today. I need some coffee, or actually some hot tea. I've gone from ice to hot in one day. But this comes with the traditions of Christmas suite, and I'm just going to get part of it on here. You can see it's 6 by 6, so you'd have to make a big card if you want the whole thing on here, but that's okay. I would like just a bit, just a little hint of this. So here we go. A lot of times when you put something on top of your card that has a folder, you don't even see the whole thing anyway, so this is just perfect. So let's do our stamping now. This is just going to get under here. This is the thing we're stamping on. I'm going to do a little bit of embossing. So let me grab, I need something to wipe my stamps off because I'm going to switch colors, which is not something I do often because I'm a little lazy, so I don't like to clean my stamps in between, but this card looks really pretty with it. So I'm going to use this as my base. I'm going to use the bigger of the 2 twigs. I'm going to stamp it in espresso. I just touched the stamp, but hopefully it was clean because I just touched it. And then I'm going to kind of have it go up this way. So there's our branch. I think that's all I need that one for. And then let's do our greenery. So I'm going to start with, I don't know which one I started with last time. I'm going to start with garden green. I think last time I may have started with spruce, but I can't remember. So there are 3 different pieces of greenery. So there's one with 3 this way, one with 3 this way, and then a single. So you can just kind of match them up however you think they go best. I think I'll do this here. And then I'm going to do this little grouping of 3. Here. And they don't have to be perfect. We're going to fill in with pine cones. And then you could use your 3rd one there. I'm just going to ink up this. And I have some scrap paper. Maybe I can get all 3. Well, let's see if I can get all 3. I think this is different than I did my other card, but it doesn't matter. So we have, that is garden green. And then I'm going to 2-step it with the single, and I'm going to get my shaded spruce. And when I don't film on the same day as another, then sometimes I don't remember how I did it. Sometimes it's a long time. So these, you can see now that I have this one, I can pull it down a little bit closer to the stem, because now with just one, I can get it exactly where I want it to be. And then it's just kind of making it fuller and adding 2 colors, which is fun. So there's the greenery. If you want to keep this as a summer card, you would stop here with the colors, with those colors. I'm going to wipe this off. So for my pine cone, I'm going to do pecan pie. There's 2 of them, but I thought I did just as good to, like I did. So just add these in kind of wherever you want. Some of them are going to get covered up, so I'm going to do a few more than might be necessary. That way when I add the next, the label and the ribbon and the die cuts, you'll still be able to see some of these. Maybe one more here. Now I'm going to clean this one off. So now we're going to add our snow. I have my white pad. I'm going to take the tips of the greenery, and I'm just going to put it up on the tip so it looks like there's snow on the top, but not necessarily on the whole thing. You will want to kind of smudge it off because it will pick up ink even though it's mostly dry. When you put that wet on it, it can sometimes soak it up. One more down here. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my pine cone, and I'm just going to kind of get it so it looks like it's a little bit on the tips. I've inked my whole thing and I'm just trying to touch it. It's really hard to not ink a whole thing when they're teensy tiny. There's that, and then there are some snowflakes. I can figure out which block they're on. So just add these. And then when I did the original card, I was like, well, it's not as bright snow as I thought it might be, but it was fine. And then when I went to do my sentiment and I just did it and I didn't emboss it, I was like, no, this needs a little bit more. So I did emboss it with white, but I didn't want this to all be white because there's kind of a lot of white on there if you let it all be embossed. So I'm going to let it dry for just a second, which it takes craft ink a while to dry. Ink up our sentiment. And then I'll put my powder on this one first. So I'm going to do it all in white. This one I do want to be nice and strong white. And then this one I'm going to put on sparingly, if I can even pick it up. Oh, come on. So I'm going to hold it here and I'm going to kind of drop it. And then we'll knock this off. We'll see how much more I think. I don't want a lot. Get that pine cone right there. Couple of the snowflakes. I didn't even put any on that pine cone down there. I'll knock it off one more time. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as lightly as I can, just add some so it looks like there's also some snow in the background. Now when you do this, obviously there's nothing on there that's going to help hold our card, help hold our powder on the card. So you'll want to heat it from the upside down, and you also want to get your heat tool warm. So I'm going to heat it up a second. It doesn't have to get it all because we'll grab some of it and start it to melt. Now I can flip it over. Didn't stamp it I stamped it on a straight piece of paper so it would be straight, and then I stamped it crooked, which often happens when I don't want to put my head over the top so you guys can see. So to help eliminate that, my other one's cut straight. This time I just cut the bottom so it's not straight, so it'll be harder to tell if it's not. Alright, let's stick this together. It goes together really quickly. my espresso. And if I was doing this, I would probably add a piece of crumb cake on the inside to write on. But you guys can envision that. You don't need to see me do it. So let's start with adding. Oh no, I've been doing all my other cards on the other table. Let me go get my adhesive. And every time I do a try it class, I rediscover my love for Stampin' Seal Plus. This is just Seal, but because there's lots of fun folds, I use the Seal Plus and I do love it. And then I'm like, maybe I should just use it all the time, but I like Seal. I know some people have an issue with it. I've never had an issue with it, so it's my go-to. So now I'm going to add the pecan piece. And so you'll see we didn't need all of the front, all of the wreath. If the whole wreath had been on there, we would lose more corners. So this way it fills in at the corners. Pop this on here. Is it straight? Yeah. And then I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Over the top. Don't you love the wisp of snow? This one's a little bit more blizzardy than my other one. And then I'm going to add some adhesive right here. And then this is the ribbon that's part of Card Club. I've had a lot of people ask if it's difficult to work with. It is not at all difficult to work with, especially when you're just using it for highlights like this. So I'll put this here. And then put another piece here. And then I'm going to grab some more dimensionals, and I am going to put one right here to help hold this down. And that can be my middle. And then we have these, a little piece right here that needs to pop out. You could use glue. I'm just going to use seal. And if you do it on these dimensional things, when you do a piece like that, it resists that, so it all pops back up onto whatever you are trying to stick down. And then here's my little pine cone, and I want it to look a little bit white, so I haven't shut this. And just drop it on here lightly. I say lightly, and it will have colored the whole thing, but it does dry a little bit lighter than what it's going to look. And then I'm going to use a really surprising embellishment on this because they're part of the Peaceful Garden Suite. I think it's called Peaceful Garden. So they're snowflakes, and if you just look at it in the package, you're like, well, the blue isn't going to go with that. You could add some blue to this card, but look, there's white ones. So I'm just going to add 3. I don't want to do too many. I love to use lots of embellishments, but this card doesn't need them. We've got all the snow, we've got all the stuff blowing around, so we're good. And these are just the perfect little bit of highlight. So if you're in Card Club, remember you can add this bundle this month, or you can add it next month, assuming it doesn't go out of stock. Here's this one. This one's a little less blustery. And if you look closely, this is upside down because when I was all done with the card, I don't know if you can see it's been pulled up. My stamp fell over, the one that had the green ink. And so there was just a tiny bit of green. And at first I was like, I can live with that. And then I was like, no, I can't. So I flipped the whole thing over. So there's my little secret. I don't know that anybody, maybe another card maker would know that you flipped your embossing folder upside down. If you send it to your dad, he is not going to have a clue that it's upside down. I will have more for you next week when the catalog kicks off, so make sure you check back here. And if you're interested in any of my classes, head to my website and get the details. Have a great one. Bye.